Hi everyone, this is going to be a very quick video today. So you may have seen this footage of the Danish politician Rasmus Paludan burning the Quran in Stockholm, Sweden, outside of the Turkish embassy recently. A few days ago it happened. So this event was organised by the Danish politician, and he was an organised event. He had police protection. The police authorities, the state forces in Sweden, whatever you want to call them, allowed this event to happen. And as you can expect, this has been widely condemned in the Islamic world. Turkey's President Erdogan is saying that Sweden now can't join NATO because all NATO members need to accept a new member state, which Sweden's trying to join NATO. There's been large protests in Turkey and elsewhere in relation to this event. It was quite astonishing to me, I think, living in Britain, where what some would call freedom of expression, whether you consider this freedom of expression or a hate crime, is a question of interpretation. This is where I think the hypocrisy of the West and Western attitudes to certain matters, certain symbols, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, there's no real consistency. So if I was to get a few articles up that I just had a quick search of before doing this video. So as you can see here, back in 2020, you can see the date there was a man in Brighton who burned a rainbow flag, and he was charged and arrested. You can see some further details down here about that. Man accused of taking a flag from a property in Brighton and burning it on a Sunday night. It was treated as a hate crime. You had a similar incident in Ireland. Man arrested over burning of rainbow flags in Waterford. That was in 2021. These are all recent events relatively. That's like, what, 18, 19 months ago. And then moving on from that, similar sort of incident with a different flag. This is from the Jewish News. Had an Israeli flag burned in Germany. It says in Germany, police arrested 13 people after witnessing reports of about 15 Arabic men shouting and burning Israeli flags in front of a synagogue. So whether you think all those things are freedom of expression, or whether you think they're not, they're just hate crimes, there doesn't really seem to be any consistency. You've got a man in Sweden. I know these are all different countries. I've mentioned Sweden, England, Ireland and Germany there. These are all different countries, but they're all Western, even Western Europe, not even West in the sense of just Europe, because Eastern Europe comes under that bracket. You've got Western European countries there, and they're all taking these approaches. Whether you can call Sweden the odd one out, but you've got a Danish politician in Sweden burning a Quran outside a Turkish embassy, and that was allowed by the police forces. They provided protection. And then you've got these other events in the UK, in Ireland, in Germany, and these were all what you would call symbols. Obviously, the Quran's the holy text for Muslims. The rainbow flag's the flag for the gay community. The Israeli flag is obviously national flag of Israel. So there's I just think there's some real inconsistencies and hypocrisy. These events should all be treated one way or the other. Whatever, depends what you think either way. You shouldn't be saying that one thing's legal and another thing's illegal. These areas, these symbols, these topics, they sort of come under the same bracket for me. So I'm at a bit of a loss as to why in Sweden this was allowed. Perhaps Sweden, compared to the UK, living in the UK, maybe freedom of expression is really limited compared to Sweden. I don't know enough about Sweden and its politics. But then you can see this other headline here. This was a few weeks ago now. Was it before Christmas? I'll play the video in a second. There was a Catholic woman who was praying outside an abortion clinic. It was Christmas Eve. It was definitely before Christmas, or before the New Year. Arrest of a Catholic woman protester for silently praying outside abortion clinic sparks debate about, if you watch the video, when you watch the video in a second, if you stick with this, it's worth watching. It gives you vibes of 1984, like You've Had Too Much to Think, the Thought Police. You can watch the footage now and think for yourself, but what do you think of this? Do you think all of these things should be illegal? Should they all be legal? Do you think some should be legal and some should be illegal? You tell me. Please give me your thoughts in the comments. But as for this clip I'm about to play of this Catholic woman being arrested, I won't provide any commentary after this. I'll leave you with this footage. This one for me is just absolutely shocking. I'll let you watch the footage. But It's absolutely disgusting what the police did to her.
Campaign in Birmingham, England. She's not a terrorist. She's the opposite. She's someone who prays a lot. Well, earlier this month, she was praying silently outside an abortion clinic in Birmingham. She wasn't yelling or carrying a sign or blocking the doorway or doing anything disruptive. She was just praying. Praying. Not to the government, to God. And that's not allowed anymore. So police approached her and arrested her and charged her with violating a public space protection order and committing, quote, antisocial behavior. And we're not making this up. It was caught on video. Here it is.
What are you here for today?
Physically, I'm just standing here.
Okay. Why here of all places? I know you don't live nearby.
But this is an abortion centre.
You praying?
I might be praying in my head out loud.
So I'll ask you once more. Will you voluntarily come with us now to the police station for me to ask you some questions about today and other days where there are allegations that you've broken public spaces protection?
If I've got a choice, then no.
Okay, well then you're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the public spaces protection order.